What is going on, guys? Welcome to a very special video from the beautiful city of Istanbul. I'm here with my wife at the moment on a working week, and being abroad has inspired me to make a video that I've been putting off for a long time. And I've been putting it off because it's such an important part of my self-development journey, and I really want to do it justice. But there's no time like the present, so in this video I want to talk about why moving abroad absolutely changes your life. I know it's a huge cliche, but I don't recognize myself, the person that went out to China versus the person that came back from China. And it's not just me. You talk to anyone who's lived abroad, even if it's just a year at university or something, they all say it absolutely changes their life. Now, I don't want this video to be just about living abroad, because I know that that's not possible for a lot of people. It may be something you can plan towards, but currently not an option. So I really want this to be a metaphor for getting out of your comfort zone, putting yourself out there, which is something we should all be doing. I saw a quote the other day that said, "Great things don't come from comfort zones," and I know from personal experience that is 100% true. So with that being said, let's get into it. So the first reason why living abroad absolutely changes your life is it gets you out of your comfort zone. So I remember when I first moved from the UK to China, the first few months I absolutely hated it. I wanted to leave immediately. It's only when I started going out and meeting new people, started to learn a bit of the language, learn a bit of the culture, that things changed. And I started to absolutely love living there, and I ended up living out there for about 8 years. By getting out of my comfort zone, I was able to learn a new language, enhance my social skills, navigate a new city, all huge skills which I wouldn't have been able to do if I hadn't taken the leap and decided to live abroad. I remember when I first went out to Shanghai, I would go out on a date and I'd be with a girl who couldn't speak English and I couldn't speak Chinese, and we'd end up just typing on Google Translate what we meant to say. Now that's extremely uncomfortable and extremely awkward, but you start to learn other things like body language and things that are not being communicated verbally. And again, you get to learn new skills which you wouldn't have been able to do if you hadn't put yourself out there, if you hadn't got out of your comfort zone. Now, living in a foreign country is not always easy. I've been scammed more times than you can count. I've broken my back in 2 places. I've had my appendix removed. I've got all sorts of stomach bugs that I've picked up while I was out there. But to that I say, no pain, no gain. The second reason why living abroad absolutely changes your life is it makes you question your beliefs. So I like to think of this as, imagine how many countries there are in the world. Now imagine how many cities there are, how many towns there are. What are the chances that you were born in the perfect town for you, right? And it's only by exploring and by questioning your beliefs that you may stumble across your perfect town. I still haven't found mine yet, but I know that if I keep exploring, if I keep questioning my beliefs, I will find it one day. The example I give of questioning my beliefs when I was out in China is I moved from the UK, a democracy, to China, not a democracy. And when you're out there, you start to question, is it as good as we think it is? Now, I'm not saying I'm anti-democracy, far from it. I still think it's the best option, but it does make you question things, and I think that's so important. There is a very common practice in business called the 5 why analysis, and that's basically when you have a problem, you ask why 5 times, and you'll reach the root cause of that problem. For example, you got to work late today. Why? Because I woke up late. Why? Because my alarm didn't go off. Why? Because my phone ran out of battery. Why? Because I didn't charge it the night before. Aha! That's the root cause of why you were late to work today. Now that's a very silly example, but you get my point. Asking why is so important to solving problems, and I think living abroad makes you ask why, it makes you question your beliefs, and building that muscle is just so important. The third reason why living abroad absolutely changes your life is it gives you a fresh start. If you want to be some fun-loving rock star character, fuck it, do it. No one is going to know. It goes further than being who you want to be. It really is be who you really are. I made a YouTube short about this a few weeks ago, saying that changing your environment, living abroad, separates you from bad habits. You're no longer around people that might hold you back. You're no longer in a routine that doesn't get the best from you. You now have a completely clean slate where you can build new habits, you can meet new people. You want to be known as a runner? Well then great, start running. It's really freeing. I think living abroad gives you the release you need to reinvent yourself and let go of things holding you back. Now you have to be careful here. Don't build your identity around being a foreigner living abroad, because one day you probably will have to return home, and if you've built your identity around that, then you will have lost your identity and you'll have all sorts of emotional problems you'll have to work your way through. The fourth reason why living abroad absolutely changes your life, and the final reason in this video, is that you get to meet new people, amazing people. For me personally, the big one was I met my wife when I was out in China, but perhaps less serious than that is you get to meet people from all sorts of different nationalities. You become friends with French people, Australian people, Russian people, American people, whatever. I remember I went to a party where there were 3 Serbians, 3 Chinese, 2 South Africans, an American, and myself, a Brit. And we all have something in common. We all live abroad, but we all have completely different beliefs, and that leads to such interesting conversations. You're no longer having conversations about that new traffic light on the main road or what the football scores were at the weekend. You're now discussing, oh wow, you do it like this in your country? Well, in our country we do it like this. And that is just so enriching. This feeds back into point number 2. Meeting these people makes you question your beliefs, which I think is such a powerful tool to have. So there we have it. Now, I know I didn't do that topic justice, only just scratched the surface. It's such a huge topic and something that's so personal to my self-development journey. But I still hope you got some value from what I shared with you today. Again, I don't want this video just to be about living abroad. This really is a metaphor for getting out of your comfort zone, putting yourself out there, which is something we should all be doing. So I'm really glad I got to share this with you today, and it's been an absolute pleasure. I'll see you in the next video.